I was reading an article that was advice from a psychologist, the 10 most important things or words of advice that you could give to any person. And at the top of their list was, don't make decisions when you're angry. And this is something that I agree with 100%, because I've made decisions when I've been angry and they don't usually go very well. Those decisions tend to end up with me regretting whatever I did or said or decided. And the reason is that for me, when I'm angry, I'm in a state of mind where I want to get back at someone, where I want to prove something to myself or to someone else, where I want to hurt someone, where I want to retaliate, where I want to take revenge, where I want to mete out justice, etc., etc. And having those particular starting points, having that as being who I am in that moment, leads to decisions that run along those themes of whatever it is that I'm thinking and feeling in that moment. So I'm going to do something that deliberately hurts someone. I'm going to do something that spites someone. I'm going to do something that, in general, is not very nice. Sometimes the anger is directed at myself. So the thing that I end up deciding hurts me, because that's just the frame of where I am in that moment. And those aren't the kind of decisions that I want to make. They call it the heat of the moment for a reason. It's the heat of anger. That's actually what it feels like to me. It feels like this burning within me, like this righteous burning flame, this torch that I'm carrying that could not ever be wrong, that has no space for considering any other perspective or point of view or factor other than whatever it is that I'm believing in that moment. So when I am in that state, when I'm thinking that way, when I am those things and when I am those thoughts, those are the types of decisions I tend to make. And like I said, that's not who I want to be. Now, the same actually goes for the opposite end of the spectrum, for intense happiness and excitement and extreme optimism, where we tend to make decisions without really fully thinking through what the consequences may be, when we don't fully consider the factors that the risks that what could go wrong, because all we're doing is reveling in this excitement, in this happiness, in this very positive, filling experience. So decisions that I've made in extreme happiness have also been quite disastrous. And here's a good one. Relationships. When you meet someone new, when it's all new and exciting and you do things that you don't usually do, you say things you don't usually say, you make decisions. Sometimes you decide to make commitments that you haven't actually thought through. You say things to your partner that in that moment is very true, but is not so true in other moments. So my rule of thumb, a principle that I live by, is when I'm angry or when I'm upset, when I'm feeling hurt, when I'm feeling sad, when I'm feeling very happy and excited and or elated and or anything that I'm feeling that's quite intense, I do not decide anything. Preferably, I also don't say anything. That's not always possible, though. Because who I am in that moment is not an accurate reflection of who I am as a whole and may not necessarily be who I want to be. So I'm always very careful when I'm feeling anything intense. That's the perfect moment to practice slowing down, to practice taking things one step at a time, to practice breathing, to practice looking at every single factor that's involved, to practice opening my mind and considering things that maybe I hadn't considered before, and asking for advice, and really taking my time to make sure that whatever I'm about to decide is actually what I want in its totality, and not just something that I'm deciding in the spur of the moment, in the heat of the moment, that has that space where I've missed something and I may end up regretting that decision. Okay, I hope that this came through coherently, because there were a lot of things distracting me, including my partner walking past the window outside backwards and forwards, holding his phone at me as if he's recording me. So if you have any experiences where you've made a decision that you regretted, whether it was out of an extreme positive or an extreme negative emotional state, please share. If you're going through a period of in your life where you're in an intense emotional experience and you're facing decisions, share it. Let's start a discussion about it. Let's open up the communication, because within talking to people who see different points of view to ourselves, we open ourselves up to considerations that we hadn't yet maybe allowed ourselves or even thought of at all to start considering. All right, thank you for watching, and you're going to see me next time.